All right, so let's start with our updates and announcements. And so the first thing is um, all of your, if you had to do a rewrite, I graded all of those. And um, yeah, I think everybody did okay. One of my concerns is still just kind of reading the instructions, listening to my lecture on the exam instructions. Um, so if you kind of use the instructions as an outline, there's three parts to each question. You've got the past, you've got the present session, and you've got future sessions. And remember, in the past sessions, you address the past, you address parents, you address the dad, you address whatever went on in the past. Um, and, you know, it doesn't matter how many sessions that took. But then when you get to the present session, we're at the point where we're only focusing on the client. We're done with the dad. We're done with the mom. We're done with the past. The client, we're at the point where we're helping the client to make changes and gain insights into themselves, who they are. It's no longer about the dad or the mom. And so that's all done with. So it's more difficult. I'm not saying in therapy we don't process the past. Of course we do. But we get to a point with the client where we're done with the past. We're moving forward. It's time for the client to gain personal insights and to move forward and make positive changes and decisions in their life for themselves. You know, uh, unless we're working with children, uh, adults have to get to that point in their lives where we're no longer blaming other people for who we are now. We now have a choice as an adult. So, I would say that's the biggest problem, is basically keeping it in the present, keeping it focused on the client, and not talking about the dad, basically. Dad's for part one. Uh, you know, Now we're focused on the client in part two. So, okay. But other than that, you know, I think this last exam was much more difficult than the exam you're about to take. Um, and I think that uh, two parts of this future exam are pretty easy and one's a little more difficult. So, but I think you made it through the roughest part. So the rest of the semester, we really just have class. We have, um, some topics that will not be on any exam, like narrative therapy and solution focused therapy. And we don't have any class over Thanksgiving, although I'm going to post a lecture for your own information and probably some videos. Um, Basically, on a theory that normally doesn't get covered, probably Jung, something like that. Uh, and let's see. Then after Thanksgiving, we don't have a lot of time left. I think you'll have plenty of time to work on the paper. We're going to not only go over, I guess we'll go over exam two tonight, and then next week you'll get the exam back and we'll go over the paper. So it should be the only thing left for you to do is maybe you have a presentation if you're doing the presentation in one of the last weeks of class. Um, but only a couple of you are doing that. But it's mainly just that. final paper and any rewrites you might have for the last exam. All right. Let's see. I think one of the only discussion boards I had to grade was existential. I made it about halfway through them after grading these exam resubmits. I'll do the rest tonight. So we should be completely caught up. And so now I'd just like to see if there's any questions. Any questions about, not about the next exam, we're going to go over that, but about anything up until this point, any theories, any exam comments on the last exam, anything you need to know. So you should have your feedback. So if you got an 18, a 19, or 20, they're all A's. All right. What else? Yeah, so if you got like an 18, I definitely would not redo that. I'd just be happy with that and move on. All right.